the most important single issue facing the United States today is its handling of its relationship with the state of Israel. There are many issues that are important, but none is more important than this one. For Israel, the state of Israel, so controls the President of the United States and the Congress that it is capable of controlling problem solving in America. And to make matters worse, that problem solving in the hands of Israel means that a nation that embraces genocide, a genocidal murder of Palestinians, is being trusted with making decisions for the United States. It means that a nation, Israel, that has created war after war in the Middle East in order to destabilize other nations and make them weak with respect to Israel, that this nation of Israel would control American problem solving is staggering. And so therefore, as a Catholic American, one who takes the responsibilities of being an individual, of being an American, and of being a Catholic seriously, it means that I am deeply concerned with America's problem solving today. It means that I would very much want to see the elimination of our dependency upon Israel. I would very much like to see the halt called for our aid to Israel. Why? Because it is Jewish? No. I want to see a halt called because it is not Jewish. It is Zionist. As Jewish, any state would be proud of its background. It has given the world treasures beyond belief. But as Zionist, as someone connected exclusively with self-interest in a material sense, measured only by counting, by measuring, a treasure regarded as a treasure because basically it is some kind of material possession. It is a greater Israel stretching from one end to the other. When we have this sabotage, this absolute annihilation of true Judaism, when we have its replacement by a bit of money, a bit of countryside, when we have the readiness to surrender all decency, goodness, and beauty in the attainment of that material treasure, we have a situation in which the powerful problem solver, the most powerful problem solver in the world, is totally incapable of making responsible decisions. He is totally incapable of seeing beyond its own self-interest. Now, we recognize that self-interest is part of all of our responsibilities. But we recognize also that someone whose concern is only self-interest is subhuman. It is not what we should be. And for a nation to commit itself to this kind of savagery, as Israel has done and is doing as I speak, we have a danger, not just a danger, we are in a situation of horror, and we have to look no further than Gaza to see what that horror is all about. We have to look no further than to see the American foreign policy, which has led it into one war after another, to see what this self-interest of Israel is all about. We have nothing to see but the destruction of the middle class, whose money has been siphoned off to fight these wars for Israel. Nothing but to see this, and we can know what this treasure of the America-Israel relationship is really what it is, what it's become. Therefore, I beg other Americans to press for a cessation, a stopping of our relationship with Israel as it is today. We will be doing a favor to true Judaism, to true Catholicism, to true Protestantism, to true Islam, if we recognize the difference in each one of them between their self-crippling materialism as a disease that infects them all at times, the difference between that materialism and the true spirituality, that is, their genesis, their way of living, to have an orientation between where they are and where they should be. It is this experience of orientation to an invitation, an inner experience of divine invitation, that is what makes each religion beautiful at times. It is what must be respected when it's there in any of these religions. But when that treasure is exchanged for a pot of gold of one kind or another, it is to be despised, and we have sunk ourselves in an orientation to an Israel that has been taken over by Zionism. So I implore other Americans to seek in the proper ways their relationship, their ability to influence government, because we need a sense of transcendence. We need that treasure that is beyond anything material. We need it. And if we don't get it, we are as lost as Israel. What is the meaning of life? This question, of course, tantalizes us all. And in Genesis, the meaning of life is clearly stated. It is to become an image of God. So each of us have within ourselves the invitation to become an image of God, not simply ourselves, but as parts of all of creation. And so to do this, we have two weapons. One of the weapons is intelligence. And by intelligence, we know about reality. We know relationships. We know efficient causality. We know how to control things. The second weapon, however, is different. It's empathy. Empathy with the orientation of all things, including ourselves, to transcendence, to the transcendental God, to the source of the invitation that gives meaning to our lives. In Israel today and in the Middle East, we find a horror, a war between the Israelis and the Palestinians, in which there is a genocidal movement of hatred towards the Palestinians, which threatens them with extinction in Israel, where they live. There is an inability, an unwillingness on both sides, Israel and Palestine, to live together in harmony and peace, and to recreate this world of tensions and opposites in the image of God, which is in terms of a new and higher harmony. This has been compounded by the Zionism of Israel. Zionism, which confuses transcendence, divine transcendence, with the state of Israel, confuses reality with politics. And politics, in this case, has created an enormous failure of the human race to live up to its calling, its invitation. Zionism has taken an ideology, a vision, a created vision of what ought to happen to Israel, of the power that Israel should have, and it has confused it with the true meaning of life that affects all in Israel and affects the Palestinians as well. Unfortunately, this problem of confusing an ideology with reality has affected America. America has itself adopted its own brand of Zionism, its own preference for the ideology of a given group, the self-proclamation and empowerment of a single group over the development of a cosmic harmony, so that the calling, the meaning of life, and the calling of each one of us to participate in this unity has been simply set aside. And it's ominous, because now America has simply accommodated itself, both political parties, unfortunately, accommodated themselves to the genocidal eradication of a people, the Palestinians. Women and children, by the tens of thousands, have been purposefully massacred. And this has not affected America in such a way that America would turn its back upon this horrible, more immoral ethic that Israel has adopted. Rather, more and more, America has adopted that very same ethic. And one of the intimations of this is that sooner or later there will be a confrontation because of this very same vision, this kind of Zionism. There will be a confrontation between America and China, America and Russia. And in this confrontation, are we being acclimated to bombing the existence of another group of people off of the earth? Are we being made ready for such an unimaginable horror? We must guard against this. We must face the true challenge of the day, which is neither to choose the one side or the other in these conflicts, but to see how, through creative imagination, new solutions are possible by wedding the true values on each side, eliminating the falsity on each side. What we're being challenged to do is what John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, saw as the American challenge in the 1960s. What we're being challenged to do is what we have not been doing over this past 20, 30, 40 years. And so therefore, it is time for a triumph of the negotiation, the wedding of opposites, the productive tension between opposites, which alone is the pathway towards realizing the true meaning of life.